Hey y'all, I'm Shayla and welcome to Making Lemonade from Lemons. And today I'm going to do a full garden tour with you guys for the month of June. And I was planning on doing this every other week, but kind of got behind. Let me turn you around and let me show you how a garden is looking. It has gotten so much bigger. So we have our wall of cucumbers here in front. And as you see, they are loaded with blossoms. I have had to prune a bunch of leaves. Some of the leaves were getting sickly, so I went ahead and pruned them back. And I did a heavy pruning, but I still have lots of leaves. If you see, this is the reason, that right there. I'm not even sure what that's called, but there was a lot of leaves that have it. I mean, I'll look it up and see what it is. But the cucumbers are doing great. I've already canned one batch of sliced pickles and want to do more because my family loves pickles, so that's why we have this wall of cucumbers. But anyways, we've also eaten a lot of refrigerator pickles. We put onions in them and we just call them cucumbers and onions. But anyways, yeah, we've got lots of these. I've given some to my parents, so my husband just eats them just fresh out of the garden, just washes it and then eats it. Anyway, so they're looking really good still, and I've been watering them every day in the heat because it's been in the 90s. So the tomato plants are doing really beautifully. So these are the Better Boy tomatoes, and I mean, they just look really, really healthy. And of course, still setting fruit, even though it's been, 95 to 100 degrees of, multiple days. They still have been doing well. They haven't been dropping blossoms yet. But this area is more shaded, so that could be why. All right, these are some of the cherry tomatoes. These are black cherry tomato plant. They just look really pretty. We haven't gotten any of those yet. This is an Amish paste tomato plant, and the Amish paste tomatoes are looking good. This is also an Amish paste. You can tell by the shape. So it's sort of oblong with a point at the end is generally the Amish paste. I've had some that were rounder, but the majority of them are not. So this one is also an Amish paste. It looks so super healthy. And then this one is the Dr. Wykes, and this tomato is stuck in between. Let's see, there we go. And Dr. Wykes, I really don't know how you say it, but that's how I say it, so I'm sorry if I say it wrong. But it's loaded with tomatoes. This one is the Sun Gold Cherry tomato, and that's them. They're so pretty, and they actually they have a really good balance of sweet and acidic, and I really like them so far. So far, these are probably my favorite of the cherry tomatoes. Another Dr. Wykes plant is doing well. It's just really pretty. This is my only Black Beauty that survived my children apocalypse. I love them and they do a good job. They help me out, but they also kill plants sometimes, so. All right, I know that it looks a mess. There's weeds and stuff behind there. That area right there I'm going to clean out, and that's where I'm going to do the blackberry bushes. So, blackberry canes. So, I have plans for that area. So, my tomatillos are doing fantastic, and there's lots of tomatillos. They're going to be huge. They're going to be huge. Anyways, I've got lots and lots of little fruit that has set, and they're just growing. Like I said, I've got about 8 tomatillo plants right through here. It's crazy, I know, a lot, but I will use them, every single one of them. And then these are more Amish paste and cherry tomato plants. They're kind of intermingled together. But they look pretty good. These ones, they don't get as much sun, and so I think that that's part of the reason that they look more sparse. Some of them look healthier than others. Some are more wispy than others. I don't know why, but they just are. Now, this one right here is a replacement plant that it was a volunteer that was growing in with my beans. And so what I did was I had one that was broken off there, and so I just replanted it. Took that one from the bean bag and I planted it in here, and it's growing really, really lovely. So I do have some issues with some sickness in a couple of these. So I'll show you. This one right here, as you see, it's browning and curling. This, all my others look fine. I might have this one, and I pulled one up that was here, and this one was a volunteer, so I replaced it with this one. So I really can't say that it was the soil. I'm really not sure what it is. I will take this one out and I'm going to replace it. I've got more plants that I can replace it with. I'm not worried about it. It just means that there are some plants that will produce sooner than others. I'll have some late tomatoes. That's great. Fantastic. And as you can see, I'm sorry to say, I do have weeds that are down through here. Just because you have landscape fabric down, and mine is overlapped, so I'm not sure. You can still get weeds that grow even the landscape fabric, although this landscape fabric is probably 2 or 3 years old. So sometimes things like, if you have soil or whatever that falls, and then you have some grass seeds fly, birds drop them or whatever, they can grow. But they're really easy to pull up because there's not really a whole lot of roots there. I mean, they just come right up, right? So even though I have them and I need to come through here and pull them up, it's not really, it's just been too hot to get out here and do much, honestly. Mornings are pretty much the only time I can really do much of anything. This is Nick's box of flowers. I've actually tied the flowers up so that they don't lean everywhere, but we have some zinnias. And this is a Macarenia zinnia. This one I believe is Illumination. Anyways, there's a couple others. Oops, there you go. There's a couple others that are starting to bloom, and then there's Cosmos in there. This is a jet black hollyhock, and there's another, this is a Tyroselle, and then this is Salvia. And then I believe that's an aster. I can't remember what kind. I think it's no, I don't remember. This is my sea of potatoes, and if you can see, several of the bags are showing signs that they are going to be soon ready to harvest, probably in the next week or so. We have harvested a couple of bags. In fact, I harvested 2 of the Austrian Crescent fingerling, and they are really good. I cubed them up and then cooked them with peppers and onions, and they were really good. Family enjoyed it. In amongst these is also my herbs, or are my herbs, and I have harvested my peppermint, thyme, and oregano, There's oregano right there. I have Greek oregano right here. My blackberries are starting to turn. I'm going to leave this one more day, but yeah, my blackberries are starting to turn, but I have some that are just barely growing, but some of them are also drying up. So, but it's been really, really hot and close to the 100s, so you know, I'm really glad I have what I have right now. But those are just growing in grow bags. I always meant to plant them out and I never did, but I am going to do that this year, this fall. I'm going to plant them along my fence line. So these are Beauregard sweet potatoes that I purchased at a local store, and I did that. So I've got these because I wanted to do 2 different types. So I've got the Beauregard that I purchased, and then over here in the bed that I had the lettuce, I still have a couple heads of lettuce still right there that I'm letting finish growing. But this is the Georgia, I believe it's Georgia Reds. Anyways, these are from my friend Dee over at Naturally NC, and so she gave me some tubers to do slips from, and so that's what these are. So these I planted a little bit later than the others, so these will be harvested later, but I'm really excited to see the difference between the two and how they grow here. But anyways, really excited about that. This is chamomile, and these are just flowers. It did have cilantro in it. It didn't do well. These are Roselle, Thai Roselle, which is a type of hibiscus, and then back there is also some more chamomile. I have started to harvest. They're not blooming a lot yet, so you know, they're getting ready to start blooming, but they haven't really done much yet. Alright, so what I did was, these were the bags that had the sweet peas, the shell, you know, the English peas that I had before, their Green Era variety. We put little things in there to hold the bag in place better. They like to run away. It's kind of misshapen, if you can tell. It's not round like it's supposed to be. It's oval, because when the bags were filled with soil, and also we had logs in there as well, they just kind of expanded out because they're, you know, the sides are so soft. So anyways, we put things in there to keep it stable, and it helps to keep the soil from trying to go out of the bag. But anyways, we planted watermelon behind the beans. These are an orange variety of watermelon, and I'm excited to see how they do. So I did that in both of the bags. That one only one, I think there's 2 over there, but I need to thin that out. But anyways, because really don't want both of them growing right there. But anyways, so there's 2 over there, and then I've got 1 there, and there's actually 2 there, so I'll have to thin those out as well. But or see if I can transplant 1. Alright, I know I have weeds in this bag, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to show you guys. I only have 1 onion left that's still growing. All the others, the neck broke. I think that this year it just wasn't a great year for onions because it was so hot. I had some that just started to flower, and they're biennials, so I'm not sure exactly what happened, but this one is still growing, so I'm going to leave it alone, and I'm going to pull these. Alright, my 5 bags of baby lima beans are looking really good, and I have lots and lots of buds on them. I also have baby beans on them, and so they will be, it won't be too long, it'll be a couple of weeks, and then we'll be harvesting some baby lima beans from these. Alright, these are Jamaican Scotch bonnets that I planted. These were some of the last that I planted, and so they are they're doing well. They're just smaller than the others. These are some jalapeno plants that were some of the last that I planted as well, because I don't know if you watched the previous one, I had to do 2 plantings of pepper plants because of neglect. My children neglected some plants that I asked them to take care of, and they said yes and then didn't do it. But anyways, these are Cubanelle, and they are doing really well. We've harvested. I just wait until it's easier to pull them off before I harvest them. So those are still growing. I'll leave them alone. These are banana pepper plants, and they are doing fabulously. We have staked and tied most of the plants. We do need to do some more, but most of our plants are staked and tied. The taller ones anyways. These are Carolina Reaper plants. They were planted at the same time. This one is huge, and these 2 are still tiny, but they're growing, so they seem to be doing fine. And I've got little blossoms on there. These are cayenne, and I want to show you the size of these cayennes. These are Arapaho cayennes, and that is a massive cayenne. But this is a Haas Tools hybrid variety. These are the Colossus jalapenos, and they're doing really well. Lots of jalapenos on there. Blossoms. I'm surprised I haven't seen a whole lot of blossoms drop. I have seen some that it set fruit and then they dropped because of the heat, but not too badly. So these are my other Jamaican Scotch bonnets that I showed you, others up there that were tiny. These are already setting fruit, and so I'm really excited. These are pretty prolific types of plants, so I'm expecting a whole lot, and then I'll make a lot of hot sauce with that. These are Greek pepperoncinis, and so far we like them. They still don't have a lot of heat, but pepperoncinis are not the hottest pepper anyways, but whatever reason, the ones that you get in the jars are hotter, so maybe they put a hot pepper in the batch. I don't know. These are more Cubanelles, and they're loaded. They're not as big of plants, but they are loaded with blossoms. These are my Ajvarskis, and I said that this year if they didn't produce, then this would be the last year growing them. I grew lots of plants. I started lots of plants to make sure that I would get a good idea of how their growing habit. Oops, that one came off. Anyways, I've got little ones on there, lots of blossoms, so I'm actually really happy. Maybe I'll be growing these again. These are Tabascos. They're kind of small. They're smaller ones that I have planted, so it'll take them a little while, but they'll get bigger. They always take a little bit longer than the others because they're really hot peppers. These over here are Yellow Monsters, and these were another one. This was another variety that I said that if they didn't do anything, because I didn't get any peppers off of the other ones that I grew before. So I've got lots of them, and they are really big. So, and that's not even starting to turn, so I'm really excited about those. Beside them are Shishitos, and I'm waiting until they turn red, because that's what they will turn red. They're good green, but I think that they're even better once they start to turn, because they're sweeter. This one is a Dew d'Espagne, and I have some blossoms. I don't have any fruit yet. This one looks like it's probably gonna drop that right there because it looks, but anyways, we'll see. It looks like it's yellowed, and generally if they turn yellow, the blossoms drop. But I still see some that look really good. So hopefully I'll get something from that. If I don't, that'll be the last year I grow any of those as well. This is an Etuda, and it's a new one to me, and it looks like it's doing fine. It's got blossoms and it's got fruit, so I'm happy with that one. These poblanos, I've already harvested 2 poblanos from them, 1 each, and they're doing great. They're Hidalgo, which is a Haas Tools variety. This one is a Buena Mulata, and this one is a little bit more spicy. It has filled out. The last time they were really pretty sparse leaves, but they filled out pretty good. And we've already used some. I'm using these, the Murasaki purples, black Hungarians, and the jigsaw peppers, and I'm putting them all together and making a hot sauce with those. These are more Cubanelles. I just couldn't throw out those plants, even though I had plenty. I just couldn't throw them out. So I went ahead and planted them, and we'll see how they do. These are my Murasaki purples. I've already harvested lots, and they have tons of blossoms and setting fruit. They were one of the most prolific of my peppers last year, so I'm really happy with those. These are the only pepper plants that I purchased this year, and it's because my habaneros did not do well, but these already have habaneros that are growing, so I'm pretty happy. All right, these are more Ajvarskis, and these have actually, the fruits are even bigger than the others. So this one, the plant is super tiny, and this is like at the base of the plant. So anyways, I can't, it's like leaning on the dirt. All right, this mystery plant I'm pretty sure is a Greek pepperoncini, and because it's the same shape as the pepperoncini, so pretty sure that was the mystery plant. These are hatch peppers, and these plants kind of looked kind of bad last time as well. They're starting to really fill in and do well. These are my Emerald Giant plants. The Emerald Giants look really well. They're doing good, and they're blossoming and setting fruit, so I can't complain at all about those either. Emerald Giant were my favorite of the bell peppers, so that's why I'm growing them again this year. These are Tabascos that have actually, if you can tell, they're bigger. And yes, I have lots of dandelions back in my yard. So I have a tendency, and I'll show you a picture. I have a tendency to leave the yard because I don't know if you can see it, but these are my black Hungarians, and there's lots of blossoms. I've already harvested some of the little fruit, which they look like small jalapenos is what they look like to me. So anyways, they're doing really well though. These are my Sugar Rush Peach, right there, Sugar Rush Peach, and I only have one Sugar Rush Red, which is this one right here. But they are loaded with blossoms, and they are doing so much better this year. Last year, they only had one stem, and they weren't bushy. But this year, and I have not topped any of my peppers, but they really do, they really have bushed out. So they're doing really well. This is another bag of banana peppers that I have, and they were some of the last ones that I planted. These were ones that I just couldn't throw out, basically. So I went ahead and planted them out. I can't throw them away. These are another bag of the Emerald Giants, and they're also loaded with blossoms, so I'm really expecting to get lots of peppers this year. These are more of the Arapaho Cayenne. This one is starting to turn. It's huge though. Goodness. These are more Cubanelle. We really do enjoy Cubanelles, so I have lots of banana pepper plants, lots of jalapeno pepper plants, and lots of Cubanelles. This is another type of cayenne. It is called an Iberian. This is an Iberian cayenne. It's also big, but it's curled around, so you can't tell as much, but it's huge. These are red Marconis. I've got a couple on here that are growing. They're new to me, so I'm really not sure whether or not I'll like them or not, but we'll see. These are more jalapenos. These are jigsaw peppers. You see, those are so cute. They are the cutest little pepper. They don't really get big. That's about as big as they get, maybe a little bit bigger. But they're cute, and they actually are really kind of spicy, but they're really good. But I just love this plant anyways. It doesn't matter. Even if they didn't produce any peppers that I could use, I would still use it, plant it, because see how beautiful those leaves are? Green, purple, and white. These are Big Jim, and there's a couple of peppers on them. They also have quite a few blossoms in there, so I'm pretty excited to see what these are like. I haven't ever grown these either. All right, these are the Giardone and Moscow Marisol peppers, which are Pueblos. They're Pueblo varieties. These are what my husband really enjoys in his green chili. So you really only, if you're going to use the Giardone, you really only need one of those in a batch of green chili, honestly, because they are so spicy. The Moscow Marisol, maybe two. It's supposed to be a sweeter one, but it is still really, really spicy. But if you see, the peppers grow up instead of down, like the hatch peppers grow down. These are the Ají Cristal, and they're really starting to blossom. They're bushy. They've got lots of branches on them. So I'm looking forward to having some of those. My lemon drop peppers are going crazy, which is fantastic. I've got 3 of those, and they're doing great. And these are more banana pepper plants, and I've harvested quite a few from here. I just wait until, see, that one was kind of easy to pull, so I pull it. Anyways, so my peppers are doing fantastic this year. I already took out all my garlic. I have got 3 boxes. That one needs to be weeded. I've got 3 boxes. I also need to amend the soil, and then I'm going to plant, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to plant corn in here, and then I think in where I had the onions, I think I'm going to just grow some, flowers, because, my flowers over back behind my, I'm going to do some sunflowers and maybe some zinnias over here, because I have my tower. This is my green stalk planter, and I planted this late. But I still had some snapdragons from last year that just continued to grow, so I left those alone. I refilled the soil in it though, and then this is all calendula. I've got, this whole tower is calendula. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. So that pretty much does it for my garden. I still have things that I'm going to be planting. I'm getting ready to do my other green stalk planter, and I'm going to plant there. I have different types of lettuce that is heat tolerant lettuce, and so I'm going to plant that. And then this area right here is very shaded for the most of the day, so I'm probably going to just go ahead and plant that here. And then you know, I still have some tomato plants to plant, that kind of thing. So anyways, so I'm pretty much, you know, I'm still planting. So, you know, I kind of had to, I've had to plant things in stages this year, and I'm okay with that. I'll just have some things that come in later than others. And then if we don't get enough cucumbers that, you know, we can pickle this year, then I will grow some more pickles, or I'll grow some more cucumbers toward the end of the season like I did last year, because that's what I did last year. So anyway, so thank you guys for spending time with me today. I'm getting ready to go and harvest some more cucumbers and then go inside. So I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.